GF Entertainment.
This is Ghana's finest.
Keep dreaming, keep dreaming, keep dreaming.
Smokin' Ace Productions.
Keep dreaming, keep dreaming, keep dreaming, keep dreaming. Never as bad as it seems. Life is messed up, but you still got a dream. The sun is gonna shine in your eyes. Keep your head up, still reach for the skies. Must not give up on your goals. If you can't, let your passion go. So keep dreaming, keep dreaming, keep dreaming, keep dreaming. I knew I was a genius back in grade 2. Had a business selling stickers and the grades too.
We're here at the Georgianne Nation 09 conference, and we're going to be discussing the comparing and contrasting of the pedagogy of the oppressed. So our delegates, please introduce yourselves.
Tony Evans, Lost Girl.
Chastity Bozeman, social work in the hidden curriculum. Leanne Chisholm, who's passing for her.
Faith Mingo, La Guiera.
Paige Crumby, excerpt from the Quran.
Jasmine Wright, Luwa.
Terry Johnson, recitative.
Monica J. Burke, gangster rap in the American culture.
Rachel Smith, The Dark and Light of It.
Sharissa Walker, white privilege and male privilege.
I'm Marquita Reader, and filming is Ralph Beppo. Okay, so we're going to open the discussion about comparing and contrasting y'all the various articles to each story, or the article, The Pedagogy of the Oppressed. The discussion is now open.
I'd like to start actually with my article, White Privilege and Male Privilege. The author is Peggy McIntosh, and basically what the article goes into detail by saying, if you actually read it, it lists all of the subconscious matters of race between white individuals and minority individuals. Certain things, I'll just highlight a few points. One says, I can go shopping alone most of the time, fairly well assured that I will not be followed or harassed by store detectives. Another one says, if I can be reasonably sure that if I ask to talk to the person in charge, I'll be facing a person of my race. Peggy McIntosh is a Caucasian lady, and she goes into detail by listing all of these matters. And reading it, it's true to say that, of course, we knew, as an African-American female, I knew all of these were true, but it's something that I never just blatantly outright seen in a list. And just seeing that and actually going through and saying, oh yeah, that's true, or this happens all the time, it's a form of subconscious oppression, because me as an African-American female, I know it's there and I know it's present, but it's kind of like an acceptance that I have, because I kind of accepted knowing that that's just how society is right now. And just for me not to be as bothered by it as maybe someone who maybe a more supremacist or extremist or whatever, that's a form of subliminal oppression, because it's kind of like it's already accepted in my mind. So that's one of the major comparisons of white privilege and male privilege to the pedagogy of the oppressed, more on the side of subliminal subconscious oppression. Thank you.
Anyone else want to discuss about their article with the topic?
Yes, I would like to discuss my article. Okay, the article that I had was Social Class and the Hidden Curriculum. And y'all know how Pedagogy of the Oppressed talks about how people are oppressed and how people are oppressors and how they try to keep other people oppressed. Well, Social Class and the Hidden Curriculum correlates with that, because they talk about how, according to your social class and what school you go to, they're already preparing you to be oppressed depending on your social class. So if you're in a working class, you won't have the same type of education as somebody who's in the middle class or somebody who's in the elite class, you know. So that's how the school system works to keep people oppressed. So
how do you think the teachers feel about that, as working with the elite and working with the elite and the working class, and also lower income classes? How would this affect the teachers as they teach the students of being oppressed?
Well, see, this is what happens. you know how in Pedagogy Oppressed, they talk about how people basically won't break free and be liberated. Those teachers are just doing what was done to them. So they may not even know that they're keeping people oppressed or they're keeping people in the working class, but in actuality they are, but they may not know that. Okay. And that's the whole gist of keeping people oppressed, not letting them know that they're oppressed.
Okay.
Well, I read the article by senior writer in Essence magazine, Janine Amber, and the article is about Lost Girl. And basically it's about, human trafficking or female trafficking in the United States. And, Atlanta has a huge problem of that now, being that 90% of the girls that are being trafficked are black. And that's a huge problem facing us as a black people in our community. There is a portion in the pedagogy of the oppressed that speaks on fear of freedom, which afflicts the oppressed, a fear which may equally lead them to desire the role of the oppressor. And so as I read this article talks about a girl named Nikki and how she runs away from her mother and doesn't return for a long time. And she is then, she's caught on the street by cops. And the article goes on to say how cops do not believe the girls as being victims and that they are prostitutes on their own manner and on their own behavior, when in fact many of them are being forced to do this.
So who would you consider the oppressor in this situation?
Well,
the cops or the males that are buying the women, or what?
Well, since this pedagogy of the oppressed speaks about different people being the oppressor, I feel as though if you are afflicting, wounds or symbolic wounds on people, I think that the cops as well as the pimps.
Oh, so they're sub-oppressors.
I would agree with you on that. And I would also like to know, it goes on to talk about how she's sentenced to 1 year in a detention center, but as soon as she leaves, she goes right back to the street. And I think that relates to the prescription and the fear of freedom, and she's not wanting to be free. However, in Lost Girl, it says that while she was in her detention center, she did not receive any type of therapy or ways to heal these wounds, and that just that then says that she continues to be oppressed, and the people in the jail are also oppressors.
Okay,
and
let me say something. So you're saying after she got out, she went back to doing what she did when she went in. So do you think she was mentally oppressed due to the circumstances of her surroundings? So would that mean all that she knew that she went back to doing what she was doing, or do you think that it was something that she just said, this is what I'm
in response to your question, I believe that this is the only thing she knew. Mm-hmm. Education was not a big thing with her. She left school. She worked for minimum wage. She struggled with getting a GED.
Do you think she was oppressed herself mentally?
Yeah, she was. Mm-hmm. I guess that would be the reason in her decision making to go back to forming new relationships with pimps.
Okay.
Well, I totally agree with what everybody has been saying, but I just want to talk about the one that I compared it to, which was La Guerra. One quote in particular that caught my attention was, it says, "In this country, lesbianism is a poverty.